Hi, my name's John Devine. I'm from TCD Energy. We're an energy consultancy. We specialise in supporting small businesses, particularly in farming and agriculture, with reducing the costs related to utilities. One of the specialisms that we focus on is energy bill audits. So we look at numerous aspects of a business's energy consumption, as well as how their supplier is billing them. So one of the really common things that we find is businesses being overcharged on VAT. The other area as well where we're finding that there's a lot of issues with supplier billing is related to the energy bill discount scheme, which is now being withdrawn. However, suppliers are still obligated to have provided and allocated the discounts to businesses starting in April 2020. So often we work with businesses who haven't received those allocated benefits to recover those from the supplier as well. The work that we've been doing recently has been providing a lot of support to farming and agriculture. I think one of the common things that we found, particularly with the smaller farming and agriculture businesses, they simply don't have the time or the capacity to do their due diligence on their electricity consumption, gas consumption. So one of the most common scenarios that we're finding at the moment is whereby farms have got a farmhouse. The farms are being billed at a full rate of VAT, which is 20%. When a farm has a farmhouse, the proportion of energy used by the farmhouse should be billed at a lower rate of VAT, of 5%. So that's a really common area where we help farmers to identify where they've overpaid. The other thing that we've been doing a lot with farmers, aside from obviously identifying if they're being charged an unfair tariff, is that they've not received their energy bill discount scheme payments. And that also can date back to April 2020. So there are a number of areas, particularly those two, energy bill discount scheme and VAT overpayments, that we've been helping a lot with farmers. A business will receive a stack of bills from their supplier, which might date back 2 or 3 years. So we're often contacted by farmers that really don't know which way to turn. If the supplier doesn't accept the complaint and we don't get the result that we're looking for, we then hold the business's hand right the way through an Ofgem complaint. Often that results in a beneficial decision from Ofgem, meaning that those businesses can recover the amounts that they've been overpaying to the supplier, or whereby the supplier has inaccurately billed them. VAT, energy bill discount scheme, and unexpected large bills from their suppliers. So there's 3 key areas, and you can imagine it takes a lot of time to sort out those issues, especially if you don't know how to go about it. And so we provide a one-stop shop for anyone within the farming and agriculture industry if they're having any issues like that with their utilities. So when a farmer contacts us, generally our process is that we'll speak with them and understand what the issue is that they're contacting us about. We then kind of start our audit process. From a business's perspective, that's really easy. All we need to get the ball rolling is a recent copy of their utility bill. From that utility bill, we're able to look at various aspects of how the supplier has been billing them. We can look at tariffs, we can look at VAT, and we can also look at things like climate levy charges. Once we've completed an audit, we may request to look further back into the history of the account. Things like meter readings were provided in an accurate manner, and that billing has been accurate throughout the course of the account. There are various pieces of legislation in place that are designed to protect consumers. One of these is called the back billing rules, which actually prevents suppliers from billing consumers further back than 12 months if they've not been providing accurate bills. With our knowledge, we're often able to help circumnavigate those challenges for those businesses and achieve the outcome that's best for them. The current cost of energy, although it has improved from the peak of the energy crisis, I would say in mid-22, currently now the way that the market is looking, we are starting to return to some form of normality, although it is more expensive. But some of the common ways that it impacts businesses is businesses essentially unable to operate their facility in the way that they want to. They're having to make really difficult decisions. It really affects their bottom line. Since the energy crisis, energy forms one of the main expenses really for any business, particularly in farming. So we found that energy is more and more, in the mind of businesses, and they're becoming more conscious about the importance. We can also help farmers and link them up with reputable businesses that can look at installing solar, that can look at installing hydro. The big part about sustainability is not only reducing your costs, but also looking at how we can reduce our consumption of energy and access other sources of energy that are less costly. I think sustainability, is a real buzzword at the moment. So for me, sustainability can be much more practically, looked at. And I think sustainability ultimately is, can the business operate and generate a sufficient profit to keep going? I think one of the easiest areas that a business can start actually is looking at their energy tariffs and if they're being overcharged on energy. And I think there are probably worse places that you can start than looking at energy. And of course, as soon as a business gets in contact with us, we really set out a roadmap as to exactly how to do that. And we like to think we take the pain out of that process. Through personal experience with having worked with farming and agriculture for the last 2 years, we can really feel the pain, and we've become much more aware about how reliant we are on the farming industry.
My thoughts on the farming industry going forward, I think we have to really start working together. A fair price for what we're producing off the supermarkets, and we need the backing of government. I think solar could be a big part of our future on farms with hydro and with wind power. All these things need money and investment, and if we could get government behind that to put this on the solar panels on our industrial or farm buildings, how much would that save us in the long run? Technology, people, innovation working together.
The overall consciousness of the country isn't really aware of how important farmers are. I think it's really important that we all do our bit to raise awareness. The Shout About Farming campaign is really important, and I think everyone that can should really get behind it to make and raise awareness wherever possible. We need the farmer 3 times a day. Every time we sit down for a nutritious meal, a farmer has made that produce. And I think we're all a little bit disjointed by going to the supermarket on a daily basis, and we don't see where this food is coming from. The one thing that we can all do is support our local farmers, buy local produce as much as possible, and also share and comment on social media really when we see articles and information about how farmers are struggling. We've seen within the national and international media, we've seen it in Ireland, we've seen it in France, and we really all need to get behind our farmers, because every single one of us needs a farmer every single day.